Social media often paints a picture of overnight wealth in trading, but the reality is far more brutal and unforgiving. I remember the exact moment my own illusions shattered, watching $1,500 vanish in mere minutes on the Nasdaq. That loss was not just a financial hit. It was a harsh wake-up call that forced me to rethink my approach. Before futures, I spent time navigating the complexities of stocks and crypto, but I craved the purity of direct price action. I wanted to trade without the confusing influence of options Greeks, seeking a cleaner way to read the market's true intent. Transitioning to futures, I chose platforms like NinjaTrader and Tradivate to gain the technical stability required for serious market analysis. Focusing on the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, I felt equipped, but my initial overconfidence quickly became my greatest enemy in trading. I dove headfirst into the Nasdaq, ignoring fundamental risk management principles and suffering significant losses that stung my ego and wallet. This early disaster set the stage for my journey, highlighting the high stakes and psychological traps every beginner inevitably faces. Entering the world of index futures requires more than just capital. It demands a total shift in mindset and discipline. The allure of the laptop lifestyle is powerful, but it often masks the sleepless nights spent staring at red charts. When I first started, I thought I could outsmart the market with sheer willpower and a basic understanding of trends. I didn't realize that the market doesn't care about your goals. It only responds to the collective force of participants. My early days were defined by a lack of structure, treating the trading platform like a casino rather than a business. I would jump into trades based on gut feelings, ignoring the technical indicators that were clearly signaling a reversal ahead. The Nasdaq, in particular, is a beast that demands respect, yet I treated it like a playground for easy gains. Every time I lost, I convinced myself that the next trade would be the one to make everything right again. This cycle of hope and despair is the hallmark of an amateur, and I was caught deep in that trap. I needed to move beyond the hype and start treating my account with the seriousness that professional trading actually requires. Learning to trade isn't just about picking the right stocks. It is about managing your own internal reactions to loss. I had to learn the hard way that the market is a mirror, reflecting your own lack of preparation back. The transition to NinjaTrader was a turning point because it provided the tools I needed to finally see the data. I spent hours configuring my workspace, trying to make sense of the noise that dominated the daily trading sessions. It was overwhelming at first, but slowly, the patterns began to emerge from the chaos of the moving candlesticks. I realized that the tools were only as good as the person using them, and I was clearly not ready. The volatility of the Nasdaq was a constant reminder that my capital was at risk every single second I stayed. I had to learn to step back, breathe, and look at the broader picture instead of chasing every small move. My journey was not a straight line to success. It was a winding path filled with mistakes and hard lessons. I wanted to share this story because I know how lonely and confusing those first few weeks of trading feel. You see the success stories online, but you rarely see the struggle that happens behind the scenes of every trader. I am pulling back the curtain today to show you that even the most difficult beginnings can lead to growth. We will look at the tools that saved my account and the mindset shifts that finally allowed me to breathe. If you are currently feeling defeated by the market, know that you are not alone in this difficult process. The key is to survive long enough to learn the lessons that the market is trying to teach you daily. My story is a testament to the fact that persistence, combined with the right tools, can change your trading trajectory. We will explore how I moved from reckless gambling to a more calculated, professional approach to the index markets. It starts with acknowledging that you don't know everything and being willing to learn from your own painful mistakes. The market will always be there, so there is no need to rush into trades that you don't fully understand. I hope that by sharing my failures, you can avoid some of the pitfalls that nearly cost me my career. Let's break down the specific steps I took to regain control and start building a sustainable path forward in futures. The first step was admitting that I was out of my depth, which was the hardest thing I ever did. I stopped looking for shortcuts and started focusing on the fundamentals of price action and risk management in trading. It was a slow process of unlearning bad habits and replacing them with disciplined routines that actually protected my capital. I began to treat my trading account like a business, analyzing every trade for what it could teach me. The emotional weight of trading began to lift once I started using automated tools to handle my stop-loss orders. I found that the more I automated, the less I panicked, which allowed me to think more clearly during sessions. This shift in perspective was the foundation of everything I have built since those early dark days of trading. I want to emphasize that there is no magic formula, only the consistent application of sound trading principles over time. We are going to look at the specific markets that helped me find my footing when I was truly lost. The S&P 500 became my sanctuary, offering a more stable environment where I could finally practice my technical skills. It was here that I learned the value of patience, waiting for the right setup rather than forcing the action. I discovered that trading is less about being right and more about being prepared for whatever the market brings. By focusing on the process, the profits eventually followed, but it took months of consistent effort to get there. I want you to understand that your journey is unique, and you should not compare your progress to others. Stay focused on your own growth, and keep refining your strategy until it aligns with your personal risk tolerance. The path to becoming a profitable trader is paved with small, incremental improvements that compound over many months of work. Keep your head down, manage your risk, and never stop learning from the data that the market provides you. I am excited to share the rest of this story with you as we dive deeper into the technical details. Prepare yourself for an honest look at the reality of futures trading, stripped of all the hype and empty promises. Let's get into the details of how I turned my trading around and found a path that actually works for me. After those initial losses, I realized that my approach was unsustainable. I needed a fundamental shift toward discipline and professional-grade trading tools. I made the conscious decision to step away from the chaotic, high-stakes volatility of the Nasdaq. It was time to find a more structured environment. I pivoted my focus to the S&P 500, an index that offers a more predictable rhythm. To protect my capital, I started trading micro-contracts exclusively. The S&P 500 moves with a certain grace that the Nasdaq lacks. It respects technical levels, which allowed me to rebuild my confidence as a trader. The core of this transformation was mastering ATM strategies within NinjaTrader. This move was essential for removing human emotion from my daily trading process. Before this, I was manually trying to set stops while the market moved against me. That split-second delay was the primary reason I lost my capital. By automating my stop losses and profit targets the instant a trade is executed, I effectively eliminated the temptation to overmanage or hesitate during swings. The platform now handles the heavy lifting. I define my risk parameters before I even enter the trade, which keeps my psychology completely detached. My current reality is defined by consistency and, quite honestly, boredom. It is a far cry from the high-stakes gambling that once defined my sessions. I no longer look for the adrenaline rush of a massive win. Instead, I look for the quiet satisfaction of a trade that follows my plan. For those just starting, my advice is simple. Prioritize paper trading above all else. You must prove your strategy works before risking any real capital. Respect the S&P 500 as your primary learning vehicle. It provides the perfect testing ground to refine your technical analysis without the extreme Nasdaq noise. Always utilize automated risk management tools to keep your emotions in check. Discipline is not a trait you have, it is a system you build. Success in futures is ultimately about managing your statistics and your internal state, rather than trying to predict the market's next erratic move. I invite you to reflect on your own trading preferences. Are you chasing the thrill of the gamble, or are you building a professional career? True mastery comes when you stop looking for shortcuts and start respecting the process. The market will always be there, so trade with patience. If you are struggling with the speed of the Nasdaq, do not be afraid to step back. There is no shame in choosing a slower market. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. By focusing on the S&P 500, I gave myself the space to learn how the market actually functions. The transition to micro-contracts was the final piece of the puzzle. It lowered the barrier to entry and allowed me to scale my risk properly. I remember the first week I traded the MES without a single emotional mistake. That was the moment I knew I had finally turned the corner. It wasn't about being smarter than the market. It was about being smarter than my own impulses and using the tools to enforce that logic. NinjaTrader's interface became my sanctuary. Once I stopped fighting the platform and started using its features, the technical friction simply vanished. You have to be willing to admit when your current strategy is failing. That honesty is the most important tool in any trader's personal kit. I spent months just watching the price action on the S&P 500. I wanted to understand how it reacted to news and key technical levels. This observation period was tedious, but it was necessary. It taught me to wait for the high-probability setups rather than forcing trades. When you see a setup that meets all your criteria, you don't need to guess. You just execute and let the ATM strategy manage the outcome. This shift in mindset changed everything. Trading became a business operation rather than a series of emotional reactions to red and green candles. If you find yourself sweating, it is a sign that your position size is too large. Scale down until you feel calm and in control. The market doesn't care about your feelings or your goals. It only responds to supply and demand, and you must respect that reality daily. My journey from a struggling beginner to a consistent trader was built on these small, incremental changes in how I approached my risk. Don't underestimate the power of a simple, repeatable process. It is the only thing that will keep you in the game long term. I still remember the sting of that first major loss. It was a painful lesson, but it was the catalyst for every positive change I made. Sometimes, the best trade you can make is the one you don't take. Learning to sit on your hands is a skill you must develop. The S&P 500 taught me that patience is a form of active trading. Waiting for the right moment is just as important as the execution. I am grateful for those early mistakes. They forced me to become a student of the market rather than a gambler looking for luck. Every day, I open my charts with a clear plan. I know exactly where my stop is and where my profit target should be. This level of preparation is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. It is the foundation of everything I do in the market. If you are feeling overwhelmed, remember that everyone starts somewhere. The key is to keep learning and keep refining your own system. There is no secret indicator that will make you rich overnight. There is only the consistent application of a proven, risk-managed strategy. I hope my story helps you avoid the pitfalls I fell into. The path to profitability is narrow, but it is definitely achievable. Focus on the process, not the money. If you get the process right, the money will eventually take care of itself over time. The tools are there for you to use. NinjaTrader and Tradeovate offer everything you need to build a professional-grade trading environment today. Take the time to learn the platform inside and out. Knowing your tools is just as important as knowing your technical analysis. I still use the same ATM settings I developed years ago. They have stood the test of time and kept my account safe. Consistency is the ultimate goal. Don't worry about the big wins. Worry about the small, steady gains that compound over the months. The market will test your resolve every single day. Your job is to show up, follow your rules, and execute your plan without fail. I have found peace in the routine. The morning session is my time to focus, and once it's done, I walk away completely. Trading shouldn't consume your entire life. It should be a part of your life that provides freedom, not a source of constant stress. If you find yourself checking the charts at night, you are doing it wrong. Learn to disconnect and let the market do its thing. The S&P 500 is a vast ocean of opportunity. You don't need to catch every wave to be successful. You just need a few good ones. Keep your risk small and your focus sharp. That is the only way to survive the inevitable volatility that the market will throw. I am proud of the progress I have made. It wasn't easy, but it was worth every single hour of study and practice I invested. You are capable of learning this. It just requires a commitment to the truth and a willingness to change your bad habits. Start with the basics. Master the micro contracts, learn the ATM strategies, and keep your risk management at the forefront of your mind. The journey is long, but the destination is worth it. Keep pushing forward and stay disciplined in everything you do as a trader. I look back at my younger self and wish I had known these things sooner. But I know that the struggle was part of the growth. We are all on this path together. Share your experiences, learn from others, and never stop trying to improve your own trading system. The market is a mirror. It reflects your discipline, your patience, and your emotional control. Make sure you like what you see. Stay humble, stay focused, and keep trading. The market will always reward those who respect the rules and manage their risk well. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you on your own journey toward becoming a more consistent, professional trader.